Hi, welcome to the We Can Work It Out podcast. I'm Jacob, here with my co-host Evan.
Hello.
And Vic.
Hi. Today we're going to be talking about the Beatles' fourth album, Beatles for Sale. I'm not exactly sure what day it was released, but this one is it's a mixture of original and
Covers.
Mm-hmm.
I think due because of the busy ass schedules, and so as Evan gave him a pass, so it's all right. So your first thoughts on the album, Jake, or should we just go straight to the talk about
first thought or overall thoughts?
Yeah, well, I think it has like a lot of good songs, but it's not really like revolutionary in any of their songs on this album. Like they have like some sort of like new like styles, but like I don't really. I think it's overall just like
what are your thoughts on?
Pretty good. What? I think it's overall just a pretty good album. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, me too. The covers don't really bother me as much. Like it's not like, in my opinion, it's not like a step down. It's more of just like you have to look at it from that context of them always touring and recording, writing. So obviously they're not really gonna have that much material.
Yeah,
so,
well, you guys know my opinion on this album. I like it. I've liked it for a long time. I think to me it's more of a growth album for John. I think his songwriting gets better. I think Paul kind of stays the same way, and George doesn't do much as far as but I think John's like No Reply, I'm a Loser, just kind of have a better, deeper, more personal feeling to the songs that I don't think he had to at this point. So I'm gonna start with the first track, No Reply. Evan?
I like this song. I don't know how
you like it?
How good it is as an opener.
Really?
I don't know. Like I feel like it's a little too slow. But one thing I've noticed, I don't know about you guys, but since we've been listening to the albums like chronologically, they all flow really well into each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like A Hard Day's Night and No Reply, or the album A Hard Day's Night flows well into No Reply.
With like I'll Be Back into No Reply.
Yeah, all those acoustic songs.
Yeah, I sort of get that. Yeah.
This is like you say, acoustic. This is a lot of acoustic on this album again.
It's like a summer album, in my opinion.
Okay, let's just pretend that didn't happen. And,
okay.
So it's a summer album. But anyway, I'm just kidding. Like I said, I was saying I think John just comes alive on this album. That's what from on No Reply, I should say. It's like he leaves more of the teenage shit kind of behind, and it starts becoming more like
mature.
Yeah, and like less pleasing to his audience. That's kind of how I think. For this song, I think Paul really adds a lot in his vocal part. I like the high kind of like screaming that he does. A lot of hand claps again on this song. George Martin really should get like the fifth Beatle title because he's on pretty much a lot of the tracks. He does like the piano on this and stuff, and I like the ringing cymbals that on the. This is a different sound that hadn't been used before in any kind of like Beatles song for me, in my opinion, before. And it's just a great song. I think it opens well. I like it has that. It kind of goes well for me with the cover. I think the cover has like a little kind of like serious, saddish feel to it, and that No Reply has that. To me, it could just make sense as an opener.
Yeah, I think it works really well as an opener, and I don't know. I feel like the flow of the song is really good because it doesn't really have like a chorus, but like it sort of like has this story that like it has like multiple parts. It has like the like sort of like story bit where it's like the ba ba da 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 da.
It's a little more complete as a story, I think.
Yeah,
song. Yeah,
and then like the No Reply, and then there's this, and it's like. It's just like, yeah, the flow of the song is like just as good, I think, as like the rest of I don't know. I mean, I just really like the way that it's written, you know?
All right. Okay, so the next song on the album is I'm a Loser, which to me, it's one of John's best songs. Not only the album, but just overall. I just think it's a really good song. It's I feel like it's when John starts opening himself like personally and be able to express his feelings through song, like more like his personal life. I feel like, again, as a Beatles fan, all the shit you read about John and all this, I mean, there's so many things who knows what's true or how he knows how he really felt. You know, it's all speculation that, you know, things that you read and people write about them. But I really feel like he did have that feeling of somehow like portraying to be somebody else he really wasn't. So I think that's why the song fits so well. And I was telling Jake that one day I had a shit day at work, and I go, well, the Beatles always make me feel better. I put it on shuffle, and this is the first song that comes on. Oh, great. But yeah, it's a badass song, man.
I think lyrically, it's a really strong set of lyrics. It's probably my favorite lyrics on the whole album.
Yeah.
I think about the line. About hiding a frown.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like my favorite verse.
Yeah, and also
beneath this mask, I am wearing a frown.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's his favorite, but he doesn't remember it. I think. Sorry, I forgot. I really like the end part with the harmonica too. I think that adds a lot, and George's solo is cool in this album
Yeah.
too. So.
I think that this might be like the best use of the harmonica. I feel like it works really well in this, and especially like with the guitar, like the harmonica sort of the harmonica solo to the guitar solo, I feel like works really well, and the guitar in this song is like sort of like kept a little bit softer and like more mellow, and I think it works like really well with the lyrics and like the vibe of this song. Yeah, it's definitely a really strong song of John's.
Do you think John does Bob Dylan better than Bob Dylan with this song?
No, I don't think anybody does Dylan better than Dylan, but I mean, I see the comparison a bit, but I think John has a way of putting a song into a enjoyable pop song that Bob Dylan didn't figure out for a while.
Yeah,
and I think that's what Bob Dylan learned from John Lennon. I think that aspect of it, in my opinion, I think they both kind of learned from each other.
Plus John had Paul.
Yeah,
to fill in.
Bob had weed, so it all worked out. So, all right, Babies in Black, the third song on this album. Like, I mean, it's a great opener from No Reply, I'm a Loser, Baby. It's just like a badass album.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead, Jake.
Well, I really like this song. I mean, I think it has like again like good flow. I like the solo, and I think it's sort of like a lazy sort of song, but like in a good way. You know what I mean? Like it's sort of like just like slowing down, like like it's like so far like the first three tracks are all like mellow,
yeah.
And it gives like a good like feel. I feel like Beatles for Sale is like not really like, it's not like it's supposed to be like a feel good album or anything. Like they weren't like thinking, oh, let's make a feel good album, but like I think that it's like it for me, I feel good listening to it. I don't know.
I don't see the feel good album on this at all. I mean, you start with No Reply and goes to straight to I'm a Loser.
And
Well,
talking about a
Babies
girl
in Black.
without her lover.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean just like in terms of like
This is their emo album.
Yeah.
That's why you probably liked it.
Yeah.
My Chemical Romance shirt.
Yeah. For me, it's I like this track a lot. That's when like they started using like doubling tracks. So you can hear on George's solo. There's two guitars going on. I didn't know at first if it was John and him doubling, but it turned out it was just George doubling. And I don't know. I like this song when they played it live. It was that Black Suit era when they would still have like the classic Gretsch, the Rickenbacker, the Hofner look.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, to me, it's like still the height of Beatlemania. It's still like, but to me, it's amazing how quick they're growing. I mean, every album it's a step up from the next in one way or the other. But it's I'm not saying one's better than the next, but I'm just saying they're all like a step up in
More
songwriting
mature.
or more, or something. So this song I like it when they played it live. I liked it again, another good John song. So what do you think, Kevin?
Yeah, I really like the song too. The Western, I feel like the Western vibe of it really like helps to make it sound different than the other songs. and it's kind of structured differently. I think it's like a waltz.
Yeah,
something like
it's
that.
it's
It's like a
3/4
waltz.
time.
Yeah, I just like the harmonies, and I think it's another like mature set of lyrics, like a different aspect of love, like the losing part.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Well, different.
yeah, it's like from
angle,
the other,
Yeah.
a different angle.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like it.
Yeah. Shit. Yeah. So far, so good.
Yeah.
The next song is
But then again, a lot of people like trash this album. I feel.
yeah. So do you guys?
Well, I mean, I just don't think that it's like
You got me
the
there.
the most like strongest album with like in terms of like making like the most like new ground. Like I feel like they sort of like just like sort of like this is sort of like building more of their skills, but it's not like making a statement, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, for me, again, I probably because I have a personal connection to the album because it was like first like album I had that was Beatles. It was a Mexican version of it, but it had the same lineup. I lived in
What
Mexico.
does that mean?
No, they all
Were
have
they speaking Spanish?
no, they all have different songs on there. So like,
How does this?
It was Beatles for Sale with the 5 and the O.
yeah, dude, that was the only first. That was an album that had the same tracks as a British album.
Got
you
it,
know,
got
and
it.
I didn't know that back then,
Yeah.
but it was all new set of songs that from the Red album didn't have many of these songs on there, the compilation album, I should say. So I know I love this album. I don't think of rock and roll music as a Chuck Berry song, especially like Twist and Shout to me is still like a Beatles song, you know, and I
Yeah.
think that's how I feel about the covers here. Not the strongest covers. They think they could have picked better covers.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, but anyway,
Oh,
that's just my opinion.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess. Yeah.
So like rock and roll, it's like the next song is the fourth
Rock and
track
roll
on
music.
the rock and roll music. Yeah,
Just instantly, it's like a great like energy.
yeah, and I get that because John gives it that. But to me, they're trying to emulate Twist and Shout a bit, like give it that strong John cover, like a fast moving
Kind of like what they try to do with Money.
something. Yeah, I feel like it's like they want to give John that rock and roll song.
Yeah,
But
but sorry, you go.
No, go ahead.
I think it's sort of different because like they didn't put it at the end. Because I think like what they did with Money was very sort of like directly the same as Twist and Shout.
I feel like they were
whereas, like,
trying too hard.
the
to
very
yeah.
end, and it was like a rock and roll song, but like this is just sort of like in the middle, and it's sort of like
No, and I like it a
it's
lot.
fun, but they do like sort of like play it straight, like in my opinion, where it's like sort of like the same as the original, or like not same as original, but like they didn't really do anything to like make it
Different.
distinctly.
I feel like
Beatles.
it has a more of a garage band sound to it than Chuck Berry's version of it. I think John's little echo they put on that voice works really well. You could tell these oh yeah, then this one there's a who played bass on it. I don't know if you ever heard that. I think it was George, maybe because Paul was on piano or something like that. Have you,
No, I've never heard of that. Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
never
I heard that again, but I'm not sure. They said it might be Jeff Emmerich on bass. Who knows?
Oh.
But I think they kicked ass on the song. To me, again, better than the original.
And for it being like the first like true rocker on the album, I think it's a great song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Chuck Berry songs are always pretty good.
Yeah.
Which that's what kind of trips me out about the other covers. But anyway, we'll talk about that when we get there.
Did you want to say anything else?
No.
Okay.
All right. You go.
Okay, so the next song is "I'll Follow the Sun."
Any opinions?
Yeah, well, this song it was one of the early Beatles songs that they played. I think was it from Germany?
I think it's one of Paul's earliest songs that he's just written.
Yeah, I mean, it changed a lot from the original version. I don't know if you've heard the it's kind of faster and it's
Yeah.
The one that was released is faster, or the original?
the original was faster.
Oh,
This is
no, I
a
never
way
heard that.
better arrangement. And
Is this an original song?
yes, it's a early Paul McCartney
It's a
song.
good song.
It had like the same sort of like, I guess, All My Loving sort of like strumming, where it was like really upbeat, like no.
Yeah, before, yeah.
Yeah. So they slowed it down.
This song, at the beginning of the song, it like John and Paul's voice kind of blend to me, and I like that. It doesn't have like a distinct like harmony to me. I like the simplicity of the song Alex makes it well. The lyrics are really well written.
Wascally Wabbit.
Yes, well written, and they the simple guitar solo. I love it. I think it's just brings that's again the simplicity to the song that just ties it together. I just feel like they nailed this version of like that for the album, that quiet, almost acoustic-y, folky song. I don't know. It's like it's a little bit. It's so clean sounding, and 8 takes, done. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, every time I hear this song, I always think about like I don't know. I just think of like Sunset, like they capture like what it is to like really be like next to the sun.
But do you think like as Beatles fans that I mean, I know I put a lot of shit. I make a lot of comparisons to life with Beatles songs. I mean, and most of
It's
my
a
life,
soundtrack of life.
and for me, it was more than a soundtrack. I listened to Beatles probably like 90% more than anything else. And I wonder how much that influences for like, to me, I think of Beatles songs as better than anything else. I think of like the Beatles as above any band. I look at John Lennon not only for what he did musically, but what he stood for, like politically, for socially. Sorry, I'm doing weird shit, but I can't see with my glasses. And I mean, shit, they could have took the easy way out and written easy pop songs for the rest of their lives, or kicked back and wrote songs for somebody else. But how do we get here? How do we talk about John Lennon and shit? But are we talking about
I know.
So
I love John Lennon.
all right. Yeah. Anyway, I just wonder, like,
I mean, he's one of the most iconic, musicians. And what's weird is he wasn't really around that long.
No,
You know
died
what I
at
mean?
40.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like he could have done so much more.
Should have done more, man. A lot more.
But
We got what we got.
he's an icon.
Yeah.
So I'll
Funny.
follow the sun.
So yeah, all of a sudden, it's not even a John song.
I know. I don't even know where that came from.
Or he could have ended up singing songs with Michael Jackson like Paul McCartney did.
Oh, I like Say.
And it's a good song.
Paul also did it with Kanye West too.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
yeah. Let's go back to the Beatles.
What do you think about this song, Jake?
Oh, I love this song.
You're thanks for finally asking.
Yeah, I wish it would have been like a longer song because I like it that much. But like, I mean, I think it's just like a lovely tune. Like, it's very nice.
That's very British of you.
I like the like, and now the time has come. Like, that's probably like my favorite part of the whole song. Because like the harmony and like just like I think the lyrics in the song are also just like they're really well put together and they fit like really well into the album, and it's just very nice. I like it.
Yeah, one thing that you pointed out about them blending their vocals together, like I've always wondered if it was just Paul like double tracked, or if it was Paul and John singing throughout the whole thing.
I feel like it's John because it sounds like two voices. For me, it sounds like John and Paul. But then again, the more I like look into shit, when I actually start reading shit up, like I've never really been one to look up stuff. Like, oh shit, this, oh that, oh I don't know that, So you never know. Might have been Ringo this whole time. Who knows? So, yeah. Anything else on I'll Follow the Sun?
No.
All right. Mr. Moonlight.
A lot of people crap on this song, and I do not understand why.
I agree with you, Evan.
Yeah.
I fucking love this song.
I love this song. I've always liked this song.
But I okay, sorry, Jake. I keep on interrupting.
Oh, I wasn't saying anything.
So
But one,
I put right here most hated Beatles song with a question mark. Sorry,
yeah,
I don't get it.
me either. That every podcast and every like ranking review of this album, they always point out in quotes the cheesy organ solo.
Well, I don't like. That's the one part that kind of does blow.
But I don't understand what's cheesy about it.
It's the sound of it. To me, it's almost like like somebody's grinding an organ and just expects a little monkey to go out there and start fucking asking for money in a cup or some shit. That's what it reminds me of, like a organ grinder. So I think it's a little bit too old sounding for the song. I think it could have been a guitar solo. I even wrote down if it a guitar solo would have been probably a different song. It's just too like grandma-ish to me. Like too I think that's the part that the organ part, because its lyrics aren't strong, but John sells it.
Yeah, especially in the intro,
Yeah.
just his scream of Mr. Moonlight.
So I don't see the why like you're saying same thing with as you
Yeah.
say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even have it like in my worst Beatles songs at all. I just think
Yeah,
I think it's a really good cover.
Yeah, I think it's a really good song. I mean, I sort of get the like cheesiness. I mean, it's not really cheesy. It's just sort of like not like Beatles-esque, I feel. Like the organ solo, I feel like it doesn't really fit in with like the Beatles like normal stuff. Sort of like I guess the way that you'd think like Till There Was You was like sort of like
Yeah.
too much. But I mean I think it's a pretty good song. I think that like John really sells it, and like I like the timpani, like the boom.
Yeah.
Like I feel
I
like
like that too.
it sort of like gives like that Beatles like sort of like fun to it.
Okay, so the next song is a medley. Kansas City, hey 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 hey.
Hey hey hey.
Well,
Uh,
this one's always been kind of interesting to me because I feel like the first part of the song kind of,
I always like the hey 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 part.
yeah, and that kind of brings it to life at the end.
Yeah.
It kind of makes like kind of, it's just a boring song. There's nothing to the lyrics. There's nothing musically really going on.
Mm-hmm.
I think George does a decent solo again, but I feel like once they go into the hey hey hey, it kind of like, okay, I don't understand what they're saying on the callback kind of George and John part when like there's a couple lyrics that have zero idea what they've said all these years, but I do like the bye bye byes.
Yeah.
Because they're finally leaving.
I think that it's a fun song. But I think like the best part of it is like the guitar solo, because I feel like that sort of like transitions from Kansas City to Hey Hey Hey, which like it's really weird how it like perfectly mashes up the two songs. Like I wouldn't have guessed that this would be a medley. Like and I mean I know now, but like at first I thought it was just like one song, you know.
Yeah, growing up, I always thought that too.
Yeah, I thought it was one song, and then I realized it was medley, and I was like, but they're like this. It works so well as one song, you know.
Yeah, I've only ever liked the intro and the outro, or like the hey 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 part. Like the intro, like sets up what should be a good song, but then it kind of just like falls flat.
Oh yeah,
It just falls flat like immediately. And like I don't know, I always had a problem with like Paul's voice in this song.
Yeah, he
It's like-
forces it.
Yeah,
Yeah, he does that a lot. I think he has that like rocker voice in that era. But yeah, I think with that and it kind of Find Me Love kind of sound to me. He has like
yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. So but yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, it's a decent song. It's not one I search out, you know. But
Yeah.
if it's on, you know, I'll clap along. Whatever. That's what they do on this album. They fucking clap a lot. So, but the next song is 8 Days a Week. That was a single, right, on this one?
Yes.
I think so.
sure yeah,
What?
sure yeah, sure.
Probably the most popular song on the album.
It's not my favorite.
To
Casual
world,
fans.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. This is apparently with a Dylan influence because of the Babe part. Because he used the word Babe. Yeah, that's what I heard. I don't know. Again, who knows?
I actually find myself singing this song just like randomly.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you hear the whole thing? How it came about?
About the chauffeur.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
was that Paul making shit up like later on in life so you can have something?
At
to
least
say?
he's giving someone else credit though.
Wait, so
that's
what? So tell us.
So Paul was being driven to John's house for another songwriting session, and he was talking to the chauffeur about his job and his day at work, whatever. And apparently the driver's like, "Oh, it's been a hard day. Like I've been working 8 days a week." And then
There you go.
yeah,
Yeah, and to
So he
yeah,
stole it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
he stole Oblada too.
Yeah. Stole Hey Jude. What? Oh, there you go, Evan. You should protest that. He stole it from Mexicans. He stole it from Hannibal and the Headhunters, dude. Land of a Thousand Dances, the na parts.
Oh, I thought you meant like the title. No, I was just talking about the
But-
title.
they even they even opened up for the Beatles, and he asked for him as a Na 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 Boy. So, and then he uses that on Hey Jude. So,
Respect.
Let's cancel Paul McCartney.
no, I think we need what do you call those reparations? That's what I need from Paul McCartney because
Royalties.
yeah, something. Yeah. So, oh, the worst thing about it, I saw a documentary of those fools, the Hannibal and headhunters. There's
Different headhunters. Isn't there another headhunters?
I don't know.
With
They had that one hit, you know.
Okay.
So they say they're in the fields working, and they say you're gonna be opening for the Beatles, you know. And they claim they didn't know who the Beatles were. I go, oh, shut the f up. You know, you're in a fucking rock and roll band. You're gonna tell me, and then the fucking bass player has a Hofner bass. I'm like, eat shit. There's no fucking way
shit.
you know who the Beatles are, man. So anyway,
Nice.
but anyway, yeah. I don't know.
8 days
This
a week.
8 days a week.
What don't you like about this song?
It's just really poppy, and it's the claps don't work for me on this song. I think it's too much. It's like, to me, it's like let's hurry up and write a song that's gonna be radio friendly and no substance behind it, and cheesy kind of love teeny bopper song, and that's what it became, you know. But
So do you think this kind of like progresses them backwards more than like the covers do?
I don't say that because it's still different. I think the build up's kind of cool.
It's the first.
I like
one
the
with
bridge. The bridge is good.
Yeah, I mean, it has its parts, but again, it's not my favorite, and especially for a John song, I would kind of expect it more from Paul, but not from John. I think it's a little more like popish, you know, and but I don't know. That's just kind of how I feel about it. It's never been one of my favorites.
All right, I really like it.
But you like the song.
Yeah, I like it, but it's not like
you're not gonna skip over it or anything.
no.
Yeah.
No, I really like the song. My favorite part. I don't know why. Like I always pick up on like little vocal things at the end where John it just sounds like he's like very straining the 8 days a week. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I mean, I used to like sort of not really like it. I mean, partly because I was told that I shouldn't like it because it was too poppy. But,
By who?
He's not listening.
But yeah, I mean, it's starting to grow on me. In like the past week, I've been like listening to this album over and over. I've started to like it a lot more because I think like the intro into it is pretty cool, and then like it has the same outro. I mean, it is.
I used to tell you it was poppy.
You used to be like, oh, this song is, oh, you kids and your pop music. But no. I mean, the lyrics are very much pop, like considered. But then like, again, considering like No Reply and I'm a Loser, like it's much more like mainstream. But I mean, it's a good song.
But then again, that's kind of like one of the only ones on the album that is kind of poppy lyrics.
Yeah, but then think of it this way. Think of this song. You could never would have fit it on with the Beatles, and it's only been a year, so they've grown that much as songwriters and performers and whatever.
4 albums in 1 year, 1 calendar year.
No, from 63 to 64.
Okay, so like a year and a half. Or, yeah.
So
wow, that's a lot of albums.
Yeah. The next one we got is that Buddy Holly cover, "Words of Love." Again, one of my favorite Beatle covers. I think it just has that. It still has a Buddy Holly vibe to it. Mm-hmm. I think because of the claps, again more claps. But George nails it again. I think George has that early '50 Carl Perkins, Buddy Holly, the Scotty Moore kind of songs down, like that style. So their vocals are awesome on this one.
Yeah, it's very dreamy. Like I always like thought of it kind of like Number 9 Dream, where John's vocals is like very dreamy. I feel the same effect in this song too.
Yeah, I feel like they really like made the Buddy Holly sound like with like themselves, and it like, but it works really well as the Beatles. Like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like it fit really well on the album, and I don't know. I mean, I like the song.
Yeah, I feel like
I can't really
like it works better that I think all 3 of them are singing. Like I feel like if it was only one vocalist, it wouldn't be as good of a song.
Yeah,
I think that the added harmonies like.
Have you heard the original version?
Yeah.
Have you heard the
I'm
original?
pretty sure.
I've heard Paul do like his own version, like in the 80s, I think.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for that Buddy Holly.
That one was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good song. It's a nice filler, nothing too crazy, but it's
I feel like most of these songs on this album, obviously including this one, very overlooked and kind of forgotten.
yeah.
Yeah, because of Mr. Moonlight.
That
What
organ
was
solo.
on? I think the only thing that was on a compilation had to be
8 days a week.
8 days a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a trip.
So I have a little back thing on this, if you want.
Sure.
It says the Beatles were inspired by Holly's backing group, the Crickets. All 4 members were keen Holly fans, talking about the
Mhm.
Beatles. And in 1976, Paul McCartney bought the publishing rights to all the songs.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And then the group had actually performed this song for 5 years before they put it on this album.
Oh. Wow.
Oh.
Nice.
Huh.
And Lennon and Harrison sang out.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Okay. All right. So the next one is another cover. Carl Perkins' original. It's sung by Ringo. It's his song for the album. Honey Don't.
Just Honey Don't.
It's like Honey Why.
Yeah.
Doesn't that first part of that song make you think of the Spy song?
Yeah.
It does,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. That's what I was saying earlier. Like they could have picked better covers because
Yeah.
Or just put more effort into it, I guess. It's just very, just trods along. It's,
I feel bad for Ringo because he's the one giving his own shouts out to himself. You know. But,
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I think it's fun enough. I like the song on the album. I think it sort of like, but would I listen to it like on its own? No. I mean, yeah, it's sort of awkward that Ringo's like, "Oh, rock on, George, one time for me," and then like again, like
yeah.
30 seconds after, it's not
he
like
asked for Ringo the second time. Like maybe somebody won't notice.
Like, I don't know. It just feels like something's like isolated. Like something's missing from the song.
Mm.
It always sounds like it's like naked. Like, I don't
Oh.
know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just like a weird sounding song to me.
It's just a weird. To me, it's just. I mean, it fits Ringo, but it's just not a good song to begin with. I think that's
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what the problem is. Just not a great song.
So
but I think-
really, you guys didn't like the covers they did on this one too much compared to others.
I like them.
I like them. I
You
think
like them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not this song or Kansas City.
yeah, or Kansas City, but I mean, it's all right.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right. They didn't like none of them really gave it their all.
Yeah. It's
Like not even Ringo, I feel like he had his song and he didn't really
blew
do
it.
much with it. Yeah.
he blew his chance.
Like I feel like everything up to this point we're comparing to like Boys, which I personally think it has been his best song
Yeah,
so far.
I think it's kind of like Don't Bother Me, what I was saying, how like no one else like musically is putting
Mhm.
any effort into it to make it
Yeah.
like a better song.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that where it's just very,
Hey, speaking of Ringo, did you guys see that thing he put out the other day? He's not accepting anybody send him shit anymore to sign, or like,
again,
was that just happened? I just saw it a couple days ago. It might have been an old video. This is not to send in like anything to his house. I guess people are still mailing him shit. But imagine that life of 6 years of people mailing you shit and expecting something back.
Yeah.
It's a lot, man. I mean,
I think that was an episode of The Simpsons.
it could have been.
Yeah, I think you're watching that episode.
Yeah, so anyway, I thought that was new news. I know he wouldn't sign shit like.
Oh,
personally.
okay. I was thinking of that video.
But people were sending him like stuff. I guess
Oh, I didn't know about
or
that.
he's like, stop mailing me shit. You know, like that's pretty much what he said.
With
Yeah,
peace and
enough's
love.
enough.
So, peace and love. Fuck, leave me alone. Fuck. Oh, well,
I mean, fair, you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
fucking give some
Yeah.
guys a fucking space. He was a drummer, and he's, like, you know, he's giving us enough. You know, but anyway, all right, let's get back to the album here. So we are on.
Every little thing.
No?
Yeah. We just finished on You Don't.
Yeah.
Unless if you had something else to say.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Well,
This is a Paul song, right?
Yeah.
Which is weird because John sings it.
Mm-hmm.
oh, what?
And another weird thing about the song is John does a guitar solo.
Does he?
Yeah, I read that somewhere. But it sounds very Georgish to me.
Yeah, I don't know. This song is sort of
It's not
well,
that
that's
good.
weird.
Yeah, I have a question: is John or George
It's a Paul written song sung by John, but it sounds like George.
Yeah,
and
that's-
underrated?
I
love
love this song.
I
Isn't that
I
like the-
really like this song.
Was that-
Yeah.
I was just saying that's like the definition of the Beatles.
Yeah,
And Ringo's also on it.
yeah,
Yeah, I think this is another one of those songs that it's like I'll listen to. I love it on the album, but I won't listen to it like on its
Really?
own. Like I don't like when I'm thinking of like songs to like listen to by the Beatles. This I don't think this has ever really come to my mind. But like listening to it on the album, I'm like, this is a really good song. I really like it. Again, timpani, I like
Yeah.
that. Pretty cool.
I really wish they would have done this during the rooftop concert, because in the
Oh.
documentary, George is like, "Oh, we should do some of the old songs so that the crowd will like remember or like."
Oh, you brought this one up. Huh?
Yeah, he brought this one up. They
The-
started playing it for a little bit. I was like, "Oh, I wish they would have done it," because I love this song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good enough song. I mean, to me, it's kind of the middle of the road. Honestly, it's just it's still good. It's underrated, but it's I think it has its strong points, but it all has a little lagging, a little bit behind too. But it's a great song too, though.
Quick question:
Hmm.
Like, does your opinion on the song change depending on if you know how to play it on a guitar or not?
I don't play any Beatles songs.
No.
No, dude, that's fucking it's blasphemy.
Except
I don't play
the Inner
Beatles
Light.
songs. What's that?
Except Inner Light.
Oh, I try to play the
Yeah?
the sitar part with I
Nice.
have a sitar pedal for my guitar, and it actually sounds pretty good. But no, I try not to play Beatles songs. I mean, nobody could ever, to me in my mind, play the Beatles songs better or even do them justice. So why?
Evan's throwing a fit in his head. He's like, I play Beatles songs.
It's the only thing I do know.
So I learned Wonderwall and Don't Look Back in Anger.
Oh
instead.
gosh.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you about that. Them calling themselves the new Beatles. You heard about that, right?
Dude, I've heard that so many times growing up, dude. By the time I got to Oasis, I'm not sure. I remember people used to compare fucking Duran Duran to the Beatles. I'm like, shut the F
Wait,
up,
what?
dude. And then it was,
The
I remember when the New Kids on the Block was, the new Beatles. I'm like, oh, that's not even fucking close, first off. And I mean, you hear it all the time. And then with Oasis, well, it was, at least they were musicians and they wrote their own shit, which I like. You know, their songs were pretty good.
Didn't they only have like 2 good songs?
Nah, I like a lot of their songs. I think they have
3.
Wonderwall, Don't
Okay,
Look
3.
Back in Anger,
Yeah.
Champagne Supernova.
yeah,
That's
were
it.
rock and
That's-
roll
that's
songs.
pretty much
What
it.
else? What else?
Anyway, I thought they were pretty good. I mean, again, I think the comparison to the Beatles kind of fucks up anybody's chance.
I don't get it. Just because they're British?
They're a British pop rock band.
I think
trying
for the
to like
time they had a
change
little
the
bit.
music.
Yeah, I think they
style.
had a little bit more of a throwback sound back for when the Oasis was out compared to everybody else. You know, so
Even their style too.
yeah,
like
the
the
Beatle
appearance,
haircut,
but- The glasses.
I guess, yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, all 4 Beatles with the glasses.
The bowl cuts, you know.
Yeah,
The
shit.
paperback writer in Rain. Music videos they do.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I apologize.
Oh no.
All right, let's move on here. Next song is John's "I Don't Want to Spoil a Party." I heard they struggled with the song to record it, but I'm glad they stuck it out because I love the song. It's you could to me it sounds like you can tell when John writes again one of those songs where it's kind of personal in a way, and I feel like this is one of those kind of like not personal but like kind of self-reflecting a little bit in a way. I feel like he has that kind of like self hatred, I guess, toward himself. Like the same way he has like that, not hatred, but like that what's that word?
It's kind of like self-awareness of like knowing, obviously himself, but like he knows where he fits and where he doesn't fit in, and he's
Yeah.
comfortable with exploring that.
Like self-deprecation.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
he has that. But shit, think about how traumatic his life was by this point. I mean, he had to choose between living with his mom and dad, chooses to live with his mom, then his mom gives him up, and then all that shit, dude. There's so much going on. None of it has to do with the song, but I mean,
I think around this time he reconnects with his dad, right? It was around.
that's not
Hard Day's Night?
reconnecting, dude. When your dad
Oh,
comes
no.
after when you're
Yeah.
famous and now wants a fucking relationship with you, that's bullshit, dude. And
Yeah.
to
Trying
wa-
to get something.
yeah, and he wanted a recording contract and he got one.
Oh yeah,
It's
I've
fucking
heard that
sad,
song.
dude.
Yeah, I've
And,
heard that song.
he's a piece of shit. And
But he made John Lennon.
the only
who
good thing he
was.
did was have the Lennon last name, really. And
Probably had him killed.
yeah, shit. And, but anyway, back to the song. I think that's where a lot of his. In a way, it's sad that he had to go through all that shit to become a fucking great songwriter, but it's like it took him for the whole fucking world. Like, but I think all that shit had to happen to him for him to become what he became, and like this fucking. You have to feel ripped off when life fucking treats you like shit all your life, So he's got that feeling. To me, that kind of that's always reminded me of the song in a way like that. Like I don't want to spoil the party. Like he knows he's gonna fuck something up,
Yeah.
but anyway,
No, I
don't make me cry.
I resonate with this song a lot because I always like I
Yeah, you
always
fuck everything up, huh?
yeah. No, I always feel like there's something in me that's like, okay, like they're having a good time, so I'm just gonna do my own thing.
Yeah,
You know, so
you don't want to watch the disappointment in their faces. Like
Yeah.
the song.
You know, so it's
Well,
like
that's shitty, dude. I'm sorry. You need a hug? Here.
no. Put your pants back on first.
Okay. Then no hug then. Alright, so-
Yeah, and here's where I say I don't really
Even
like
quiet.
this song. I feel like it's a little bit like sort of like lazy in terms of harmony. Like I feel like the lower harmony is just like really like no energy. But I mean, I do understand like the lyrics are really good. I mean, I didn't really listen to the lyrics when I was listening to the song. Like this is like the one song that I was sort of like, okay. I mean, I love all the songs. It's just like, this one I don't know. I mean, I like the guitar solo in this, and I like the I still love her. Like I like that part, but like aside from that, like I mean, it's not my favorite song on the album. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. All right, yeah, I don't know. I still think it's a good song. I think
Yeah.
up to this point, John's still the strongest Beatle. I think
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
songwriting, performance wise, I think he's still out singing Paul up to this point, and maybe not out playing him like instrument wise, but I think it's still John's Beatles to this, and I think that's is probably the end of it. Whereas now I see Rubber Soul still has some of his and Help still has some of his,
Yeah.
but after that I think it becomes Paul's band, and I think that's why I like these early ones a lot, because I think John's voice was way stronger in these earlier ones compared to later on. I just like the tone of his voice a lot more, and but yeah. Anyway, what do we got?
What you're doing at number 12.
What? It's the
Yeah.
13th song, right?
13th song.
It's the 13th
second to the
song.
last.
Yeah.
Second to last.
That's what
He had the
I said.
Mexican. He had the Mexican version.
Yeah.
Well, I like the song. This one's like, I think, another like really underrated song. And that's also one of the ones that I feel like I don't look for, but I always really like it when it's on in the album.
Yeah, I like the drum intro.
Mhm.
And like how it builds up, and I really like the song too.
You know how Paul asked Ringo to play this for? He wanted a copy of the Ronettes, so "Be My Baby." So I think that's how it came about. And I like the piano and the guitar solo together. It's fucking cool to me, like having that sound. Just,
Mhm.
I mean, Paul's voice is badass on this one. I just think I think he's on piano too, right? On this one, I think he overdubs piano. I don't know. It's a great song. Again, another underrated song.
The one thing I dislike about this song, which I don't know if you guys will agree, is John and George's backing vocals. It just sounds like they're just screaming random like, ah, yeah, like it's not really like doesn't really yeah. It doesn't really sound like they're saying words. Like at some points they're just making random noises.
Yeah, but think of it. How many songs they had to come up with background vocals for? They had to do something different.
I mean, they didn't have to.
But
like,
they didn't have to. They could just say this exact word.
I mean, I personally think it's sort of like, I don't know. I feel like there wouldn't be like any way to like change it now. I mean, of course, but like, I mean, I like it. I don't know.
No, yeah. That's just the only thing that kind of annoys me sometimes.
So you're wrong.
I guess. It never really bothered me. Again, it's just, to me, it's just another part of the song. But I don't know. I think it's a good song.
Yeah, I mean, I was sort of like introduced to this in like a weird way because I got the Love CD, like the Cirque du Soleil. So I hadn't heard this song before, and it was in a medley of Drive My Car, The Word, and I love that What medley, You're Doing. Yeah. And I love that medley. So like it's weird, like sometimes I'll listen to the songs and think of that like change.
Yeah.
Which like when I listened to the full song, I was like, that's like it was like cool to see like, oh, there's a full song. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Good point. I really like that medley too.
Yeah, I think it's a great medley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go check out that show one of these days. It's been a long time and I've been wanting to check it out. So all right, last track on it on this album is Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby, another Carl Perkins song. This one's sung by George. And again, it's a good cover again, but it's to me the sound gets a little bit too much to me. It's like by the time you get to the song, you've heard another Carl Perkins song, and then Carl Perkins lyrically isn't again the best. So I mean, it's a good, again, it's nothing wrong with it. I like John's rhythm. It sounds like, I think that's the killer part of the song in this for me. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Have you seen that footage of George singing in '85 with?
Yeah,
to Carl Perkins. Yeah, that's kind of cool. With Clapton and Ringo. So
yeah, all the comments are usually like, it's like the only time that George is actually like smiling while playing. With his hero.
Yeah, I think it's a good ending to the album. I feel like it's sort of like fun and it's like, I don't know. I mean, I can't remember any of the lyrics. Like, I feel like I always get messed up if I'm trying to sing them, but like, I think that it's like overall just like a pretty like fun song. I think everyone puts in like some amount of energy.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, and you can definitely tell like they sort of like wanted it to end on like a like stronger note.
Well, here's a lyric. They took some money from a tree, they dressed it up, and they called it me.
Wow.
So I mean, it's like that kind of shit, like.
I mean, the Beatles didn't write it, so that's fine.
One thing
that sounds like whoever wrote that's on drugs.
It was a bad car accident. Something's probably what it was.
Maybe that's a wig. In the 80s.
You know shit.
Did you notice that? Huh? That big piece of carpet on his head?
Oh, dude. Oh, that's so uncomfortable for me to watch. I'll put on a beanie if you're that uncomfortable about it. Shit. But anyway.
But I like the song too. The echo kind of bothers me a little bit. I think it's too reverby. But it's a mediocre song. But.
Yeah. Did you hear about Carl Perkins? He was supposed to be on Sullivan before Elvis. So he might have been the rock and roll king, that's what people say. But he had that car accident and he wasn't able to be on there. So Elvis was on and he became the rock and roll king. But then again, Elvis was good looking and Carl Perkins was that good looking. So I'm sure that helped. But anyway. Yeah, I mean, overall, I think this album is a great listen. It goes by really quick.
Yeah.
It's again one of those 30-minute songs or albums, whatever it is. But
do you think it starts and ends strong?
Yeah, I think it's again, it doesn't have like a super big downer to me. It's just like a overall pretty good album, and it doesn't have like this great like, oh, this is the greatest song, like
yeah.
So it's just like
yeah.
But overall, it's got a bunch of good songs that don't get played as often on the radio or that people know about. So I think that's why this album's overlooked a lot. And I like the cover a lot. I think was it Robert Freeman, right? The photographer in this guy.
I like George's hair.
Yeah, the turnip.
turnip.
Yeah, and I mean, to me, this is a great Beatle era, and it's when their hair was getting a little slightly longer than, like, I can understand that being long compared, but like back when they first came out, people thought they had long hair, like I didn't see it, but maybe because they made it cool to have long hair by now, but it's normal for us. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, I love this album.
Yeah, I think like the first side, they really put out like some of like the strongest songs on the album, and then on the second side, it's sort of like weaker songs, but songs you like more. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that Every Little Thing is like the strongest song on the album, but I think it's like a song that I always like love to hear. You know, and I feel like
maybe because they don't get played as much.
Yeah, I guess so, but I just feel like No Reply and I'm a Loser like are like really strong songs. I just like right off the bat, like,
Okay,
bam.
quick question: what's your favorite, most popular Beatles song?
Mm.
'Cause I know you're not big into like the.
Here Comes the Sun.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess Here Comes the Sun. Not sure.
I would say Hey Jude for myself.
Yeah, that would be like number
Oh.
one. That'd be
What's the
my number
question?
2.
What's your favorite popular Beatles song? Like,
Wait, let me see what's.
That's a tough question.
right? Because there's a lot of Beatles songs that are on the radio, but
To me,
Because that would include like Let
Because
It Be,
see,
Come Together.
what I'm finding out is, as you guys are going through these albums, a lot of my favorite songs aren't on any of these albums.
oh yeah,
But not even on those albums. They're like on that
Single, the like
collective
singles.
ones,
Yeah.
or the red out or whatever it's called, like the one,
yeah. Because there were a lot of them were
like
singles.
Revolution's one of my favorite.
Yeah.
but I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not an album, and it's weird. It's like a lot of the songs aren't on these albums. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a trip.
Yeah, Here Comes the Sun or not Let It Be. Hey Jude.
Yeah, I
don't
would
know.
say those two as well.
I can't decide.
What about you?
I say Hey Jude,
Jude.
Oh, yeah, you already said Hey Jude. Yeah.
or something.
Mm.
Anyway, it's
Least favorite
least
Popular-
favorite
popular song.
Well, least favorite popular song, Can't Buy Me Love, or 8 Days a Week, or Love Me Do. Maybe Love Me Do.
Yeah, maybe Love Me.
probably.
For me, I'd probably be I Saw Her Standing There.
Oh,
That's a
I
good
like that
song.
song a lot.
I like that song.
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
Again,
Whistle.
you can only be wrong so many times before you're gonna ask not to come back.
Sorry.
Promise.
All right, so I'm gonna rank the songs going from my least favorite to my number one, in my opinion, and this is based on just, again, my opinion. Number 14, Honey Don't. It's
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not a good song.
number 13. I got Kansas City.
Yeah, that's not good either.
All right.
Number 12, Rock and Roll.
Oh,
Dang.
what?
Yeah.
Oh, and maybe say like when you get to the song, like, okay, this is the part where I start liking like every single song. Or, like,
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
I started liking the songs at number 13.
Oh, okay.
So,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I'll tell you that. Okay. So, number 11, I got Mr. Moonlight, and to me, I wanted to place it higher, but there's better songs on the album. Number 10, I got Everyone's Trying to Be My Baby, and I don't know. I had a hard time between that one and Mr. Moonlight, but I don't know. I always liked it. I always thought George did a good job on it. Number 9 got 8 Days a Week. Again, you heard my opinion about it earlier.
Too poppy.
Yeah. Number 8, I got Words of Love. Number 7, Every Little Thing. Number 6, What You're Doing. Number 5, I Don't Want to Spoil the Party. Number 4, Babies in Black. These are super tough, but number 3, I'll Follow the Sun. Number 2, I Am a Loser. And number 1, No Reply.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay, let me get a pencil here.
Because you love John Lennon.
Oh, at this point, I love John Lennon, yes. But
Okay.
I go through my phases, man. I get the rare Ringo day, like leap year. And, yeah.
Well, my list might have changed a little bit, but 14 I have I Don't Want to Spoil the Party. Yeah.
Yeah.
13 Kansas City, 12 Honey Don't. Here's where I start like really liking the songs. 11 I have Words of Love. 10 Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby. 9 8 Days a Week. 8 Every Little Thing. 7 Mr. Moonlight. 6 Rock and Roll Music. 5 I'm a Loser. 4 Babies in Black. 3 What You're Doing. 2 No Reply. And 1 I'll Follow the Sun.
Pretty good. That is way different than mine, though.
Yeah. Well, we got a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, a few.
Similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's gonna be way different.
You
As
wearing
usual-
lipstick?
As usual. Huh?
You wearing lipstick?
No.
Oh, your lipstick.
14, I'll
Probably
Follow
the
the Sun.
marinara sauce.
No, lipstick.
14, I have Honey Don't.
Okay.
13, I have Kansas City.
That's where everybody had.
Yep.
Yeah.
And okay, this is where I start liking all the songs. It was just those two songs that really dragged the album down for me. Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby.
Mm-hmm.
I'll Follow the Sun.
Oh,
Whoa,
shit.
no.
I don't want
That's
to.
crazy.
I don't want to spoil the party.
All right.
Words of Love. No Reply.
What?
Oh my God.
God.
What You're Doing. Mr. Moonlight. Rock and Roll Music. Number
Dude. Okay.
number 4, 8 Days a Week.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
Number 3, Babies in Black.
Okay.
2, I'm a Loser. 1, Every Little Thing.
Oh, what? Okay. Well, I like every little thing too, but like, not that much.
All right.
Oh,
Which ones did we
yeah.
have in common? I think we had just
We
Kansas
had just
City?
Kansas City. You and Dad had Honey Don't,
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City. That's it, I think.
You and I had 8 days a week.
8. We had Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby, 8 Days a Week, and Babies in Black.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right, man. Matt, did you get a chance to rank?
No, I did listen to it. Not one of my favorite albums. Probably the weakest to me so far. But I see the songwriting is changing, especially with the first 3 songs from
Mhm.
Lennon. They said, I was reading something, they called it the Lennon trilogy because those first 3 songs in a row are the first times he actually started writing autobiographical, I guess you would say, and more depressing, sad
Yeah.
compared to all those other things.
Yeah, feel good.
So that's where he started really writing, opening up more.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I know you consider that feel good.
Yeah, feel good.
Yeah. I'm a feel good album. I don't see that.
But overall, the album doesn't have any songs that are like just iconic to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I sort of like said is like none of them are revolutionary, groundbreaking. They don't like they bring in like the timpani, for example, which is new. Like it doesn't really like make them like the greatest. I just like that.
You've only mentioned it like 10 times.
I've only mentioned it like so much, but like I mean I like it.
But you can tell that I don't know if they had all complete freedom. I'm sure they were steered in a certain direction because they're still the Beatles. But you can tell that their songwriting is changing.
Mhm.
And as they keep going, it gets to right where they
Yeah.
became the best.
Is that the first gatefold?
Yeah. This is the first Gatefold album for the Beatles too, and when it's weird because even though it's still 1964, the picture inside of them performing, I think that's got to be the 63 and the 64 American tour, right? Or I don't even know. It looks like
Oh yeah, kind of looks like the Washington.
yeah. It just seems like it doesn't fit this album. It feels like it was like way before that, but it was only a few
Yeah.
months before this album came out. But yeah, I mean, next podcast we'll be talking about Help, the 1965 album, and again another great album to talk about. So
I feel like starting with Help, that's where it gets hard for me to rank the songs.
Oh really? I found this one to be really hard to rank, like, cause I never really think about like, I mean you never really think about like any of the songs being like the best, but like especially for this one, like my instinct was just to put like the first 5 songs as like the top. But like then I was like, no, that's not how I really feel. But yeah, I don't know. Thank you for laughing at my voice crack.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much. Matt, thanks again. And Evan, Jacob, we'll see you guys next week.